Hello everyone, welcome to Government 2305 in an 8-week semester. That is federal government, and I have made this video just to give you a quick tour of the course page, make sure you know where all of the important information is located so that you can be successful in the course. So this is our the front page to the course, and most of the information is accessible through these buttons down here. And so we're going to go first to the syllabus button here, and that's going to take you to a copy of the current syllabus for the class. So you can see here that the class is Government 2305, that's federal government. My name is Karen May, and I'll be your instructor for the class. This is an online class in spring 2019. I do have an office on the Corsicana campus in room AB 223, and I can usually be found there on Tuesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. However, as this is an online class, the best way for most of you to probably get in touch with me will be through my email address, which is down here. Note that my name is spelled differently, so you want to make sure that's spelled correctly so that your email will definitely get to me. So just going through the syllabus here, I want to draw your attention to the required materials. The textbook for the course is called The Challenge of Democracy by Kenneth Janda. And with that textbook, you will also need MindTap access. MindTap is an online software program that goes with the textbook, and it includes most of the activities that we will do as coursework for the class. So it is absolutely vital that you have MindTap access. The best way to get that MindTap access is through a Cengage Unlimited subscription. If you've already purchased a Cengage Unlimited subscription, it is extremely easy to simply add this course to your subscription. If you haven't purchased it, and even if you don't have any other courses that use Cengage products or MindTap, Cengage Unlimited is still going to be the most cost-efficient way for you to gain access. It's $120 flat for the subscription. That gives you MindTap access along with a digital copy of the book. Please do not buy individual course materials, as that's going to, it's not going to be your best value. Also, if you like to have a good old-fashioned printed textbook, you do have a couple of options as far as getting a hold of that. But MindTap does come with a digital book that you can use as well. So moving down here, this is an internet-based class. It is an online course, so you need to have regular access to a computer and a reliable internet connection in order to succeed in this course. It is an expectation that students will spend at least 3 hours a week working on this course, reading the material, completing assignments, taking exams and quizzes and that sort of a thing. So you want to make sure you have all the access you need in order to do the course effectively. You will be evaluated in the course in 4 different areas. The largest chunk of your grade will come from exams. There are 6 unit exams that will be taken at the end of each unit, which is usually at the end of each week. These exams collectively will constitute 60% of your overall grade and consist of a collection of multiple choice, true, false, and short answer written questions. Exams will always open on a Friday morning at 8 a.m. and they will usually close on a Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. There is only one exception to that this semester. The next thing that you will be evaluated on is a written assignment, an essay assignment. This is the signature assignment, which students are required to complete, and I will speak more about this later on in the video. The signature assignment itself will be 10% of your overall grade, so that single assignment can knock you a letter grade if you fail to complete it. So don't let that one pass you by. The next part of this will be MindTap assignments. So the bulk of the coursework for this class will be done on MindTap. You will be given an average by MindTap. That average will then be plugged into Canvas and constitute 20% of your overall grade. And then, finally, there are a collection of miscellaneous instructor-created assignments, including a syllabus quiz, which is the first assignment that you will need to complete in this class. It is the attendance assignment. Failure to complete the syllabus assignment will result in me not marking you as a no-show and you being dropped from the class. So make sure you get that syllabus assignment, syllabus quiz turned in. Those instructor-created assignments will also constitute 10% of your overall grade. So, attendance is important. Attendance in an online class is a little bit more tricky, but again, that has to do with how much you are participating in the course. And again, like I say, if you do not do that first assignment, the syllabus quiz, then you will be marked as a no-show and dropped from the class. So make sure that you're getting that in, and make sure that you are giving regular, daily, or weekly at the very least participation in the course. Late work, all of the assignments are done online through either Canvas or MindTap, and you're usually given a window of time to complete things. If something happens and you're unable to complete an assignment within the period allowed, please notify me before the due date for that assignment so that we can arrange something for you to do that assignment later. Please do not email me a week after an assignment is due and tell me that something was wrong with your computer or your internet or something like that a week ago, and could I reopen the assignment for you? Because the answer is going to be no. So if you are having problems, let me know as soon as they arise, and we will work to get that done. Just don't tell me 2 weeks after the fact and expect me to reopen assignments that you've already missed. There is a final exam in the class, however, it is not a cumulative final exam. It will be taken during finals week, but it is simply the Unit 6 exam. Final exams do have to be taken during finals week, and you cannot request an early final as per college policy. As this is an online course, the best way that you will probably have to get in touch with me will be email, although you are more than welcome to come see me in my office hours. When you email, though, just be sure that you are using your Navarro College email to do that. Occasionally, personal emails can get filtered out by our email server, and so to ensure that I receive your email, please use your college email address. You can also send messages through Canvas, and I will get those as well. Academic integrity, students are expected to do their own work at all times. That includes everything from exams to the essay. With exams, they are intended to be a test of what knowledge you have absorbed for that unit. And I can see if you have left the exam area a number of times, and you do stand to have your grade docked or even given a 0 for an exam if you are leaving that testing area multiple times during the exam. So just be aware of that. Make sure that if you are taking an exam, you have time to sit down and devote to doing that to the exclusion of all else on your computer. And when you write an essay, you will be expected, of course, to utilize other people's research. Just give them full credit for their research, and we won't have any problems. So, this is a list of the topics for the class, the chapters that we'll cover. The book itself has 18 chapters, and we will hit on all of them, at least briefly. I have them divided into 6 units. The first unit is the longest one. It covers chapters 1 through 4. And we'll talk kind of generally about political theory, as well as the sort of basic documents for American government, the Constitution, and ideas around federalism. The next 2 units will deal with how people connect to the government. So Unit 2 will cover chapters 5, 6, and 7. That's public opinion, the media, and voting. And then Unit 3 will cover chapters 8, 9, and 10, political parties, elections, and interest groups. Finally, when we get to Unit 4, we'll get into the sort of nuts and bolts of government, covering the legislature and the executive, with chapters 11, 12, and 13. Unit 5 will cover the courts, as well as their sort of main areas of influence, civil liberties and civil rights, with chapters 14, 15, and 16. And then finally, Unit 6 will look at public policy, economic policy, domestic policy, and the policy-making process, with chapters 17 and 18. As a bit of a shorter unit there. The rest of the syllabus is all institutional policies and important links, so be aware of that. If you click next on here, that'll take you to the class calendar. You can also get to the class calendar from the calendar button on the home page. That will give you a PDF document, which I'm just going to click on the preview here to show us what the calendar looks like. Generally speaking, units will open on Monday, and the exam for that unit will be on the following Friday. Again, this is an 8-week course, so it is going to be an accelerated course covering all the material that we would normally do in a 16-week course in half the time. So it's going to move pretty quickly. The first unit is the longest one. It's also that sort of introductory unit, so there are 2 weeks to cover that. The syllabus quiz and other, the setup for the simulation, which again I'll come back to for the signature assignment, all of that will be this week with your nation state and the syllabus quiz being due on Friday. Unit 1 is also open all this week. It will close next week, Thursday. So Unit 1 on MindTap is when all those assignments are due. Unit 1 exam will open on Friday and close on Sunday. After that, we'll get into the regular sort of weekly groove with MindTap assignments, units opening on Monday, all of them at 8 a.m., all of them closing at 11:59 on Friday. Exams will also open on Friday, so you have a bit of an overlap between finishing those unit assignments and doing that exam. There's only one exception to this general pattern, and that is this weekend down here. The college is closed on Friday because it's Easter weekend. And because it's a holiday, I've given you an extra day for doing the exam. So MindTap will be due on Friday. The exam for Unit 4 will open on that Friday, but the exam won't close until Monday, the 22nd, as opposed to Sunday. MindTap for Unit 5 will also open on that Monday, and we'll get back on schedule after that. Unit 6 is the shortest unit, and it'll take the shortest amount of time, with the MindTap unit opening on the 29th. Closing on the Thursday. The exam will open on Thursday the 2nd, and you'll have all the way through to Sunday the 5th to do that. That is the final exam, and since it's landing during finals week, I give you a few extra days, a couple of extra days to complete that as well. The essay assignment is actually due on the 26th as well. That information got knocked off the calendar, so you want to make a special note of that, and I will make sure to go back and fix the file here, but the signature assignment, the essay, is due on April 26th. If you click next again down here, that'll take you to the syllabus quiz. Again, syllabus quiz is the attendance taking assignment, so you have to have the syllabus quiz completed. I highly recommend you have the syllabus open in a separate window while you're taking the quiz, so that you can make sure you get all the answers in that regard, and it is due on Friday, March 22nd, so make sure we get that done. All right, so if you go back to the home page again, you can see where access to those are. The syllabus, the calendar are right there. The next thing we're going to look at is MindTap. So MindTap is the place where you're going to be spending most of your time other than Canvas. And in order to get to my MindTap course, you have to go through my Canvas course. So you click on that MindTap button on the home page like I've just shown you. If you're unfamiliar with MindTap, you can watch the video at this link and it'll give you an introduction to that. You do, however, want to make sure that your pop-up blocker is turned off because MindTap does open in a separate window. Once you've gotten all that, then you click on this next button down here and that will take you to a link that goes directly to my MindTap course. And that is how you have to access my MindTap course. You cannot go through the Cengage website. You have to go through Canvas. So you click on this little box right here, and that'll take you to MindTap, which I've actually already got open. So when you first click on that button, you will be asked to log in. If you've ever used MindTap before and you have a login created already, then use that login. If you already have a Cengage Unlimited account or subscription, use the account that is associated with that subscription to log in. That will add this course to your subscription so that you don't have to buy anything extra. If you are buying Cengage Unlimited for the first time, then you will go through the steps of creating an account and logging in, attaching that subscription to it. But to get to my class, you have to go through here to do that. You just always have to make sure that you log in with the account that is associated with your subscription. Once you get that done, then it will take you to the course. You'll get a sort of welcome page that has the cover of the book on it and everything. You click enter, and then this is what the course page looks at every other time you open it. I have it split up into units that match the units for the course. So unit 1, if you click on it, it opens up. You have the 4 chapters here. If you click on the 4 chapters, it has all the material for those. So normally you'll get 3 assignments for each chapter. One of them is a short sort of watch a video, answer a couple of questions type of assignment. You have the chapter where you can go in and read it from the digital book. Here, the focus activities are usually a collection of sort of short, anywhere from 3 to 8 activities, just short little things that deal with various topics within the chapter. And then finally there is a quiz over the entire chapter. The quizzes on MindTap are how we are assessing the student learning outcomes, which is a sort of departmental assessment for the college. To that end, you only have one opportunity to take these quizzes, and you have a 30-minute time limit to take these quizzes as well. So make sure that when you sit down to take one of the chapter quizzes that you have the time to sit down and take it, because you will not have another opportunity to do them. If you want to just quickly refer to the book, this icon over here has the full textbook. It just slides out in front of your screen. So whatever you're doing, you can still do in the background with the book just opening in front of it. And I'm not going to let it load actually. You also have, apart from this sort of unit view here, you can click up here and see the calendar view, which shows you the activities that are due in any given week. So if you want to just look at the activities that you have to do, you can go down here and click on week 2. That's all of the unit 1 activities and what you're going to do with them, essentially there. And when you've done them, it'll also tell you your grade that you have on them and the average grade for the entire class too, so you can sort of compare yourself to your classmates. So that's MindTap. There is also, if you go back to here, if you're new to MindTap, there's a little video in this Getting Started that will walk you through the MindTap course again, or using MindTap generally. So that is how you get to MindTap. And again, you have to access MindTap in that way. You cannot go through the Cengage website because it will ask you for information that you don't have. Finally, there are also unit pages on here. The exams, the unit exams, will be taken through Canvas on here. So you go to the unit page there, and it gives you the link to the exam down here at the bottom. You also have links to PowerPoint presentations that deal with each of the chapters. And as you click next, it'll take you through important information there. Unit 1 is special in that it has an additional assignment on Canvas. And that is this very next assignment here. Go to this website and take the political ideology quiz, and then answer the questions on this quiz regarding your result from that political ideology quiz on isidewith.com. If you click next again after that, that will take you to individual pages for the chapters. On these chapter pages, I've included things like relevant videos. There's a crash course series for U.S. government and politics. And so I've included videos from that are relevant to the material in the chapters, as well as other kind of links and videos and things like that here. So you can just go through here and see materials for all of this, articles that are relevant, and other materials just for you to look at in each unit. So that's all available on Canvas as well. So the last thing we need to talk about is the signature assignment. So the signature assignment will be written about a simulation that we are running. Through or over the course of this class, we will be running a simulation through the website called nationstates.net, and I have a PowerPoint presentation here that can help walk you through the process of setting up your nation state. So you want to go to nationstates.net. This up here is a link to that website, and you will follow the directions on the PowerPoint once it loads. My apologies, I do have something of a slow internet connection at home. So while this is loading up, I'll talk a little bit about nation states. So, okay, there it is. Nation states is an online kind of like a role-playing game, simulation game that simulates running a country. So you create a nation, and they give you a series of issues and things like that. There's also a link on here to get to nation states, but it's sort of split up there. So use the link on Canvas. Once you get to that page, you'll get to a cover page that looks something like this, and you'll want to click on Create a New Nation right here on the page. Once you get to that Create a New Nation page, you'll be asked to choose the level of freedom that you want. So as you click on these different labels here, it will adjust these bars to tell you the levels of personal, economic, and political freedom that people in your nation would enjoy under those particular labels. This is only a starting point. These sorts of things will change based on your governing decisions once you start with the nation, once you actually start making decisions and things like that with the nation. The next thing it will do is ask you a series of questions based on your sort of personal political ideology, and that will help to generate certain characteristics for your country based on your answers. You don't necessarily have to be honest. I would like for you to answer honestly, and that I would like you to run a country based on your politics. This is ultimately your opportunity to prove that you know the best way to run the government. Once you've picked all of those answers and everything like that, it will assign you characteristics, as you can see down here at the bottom there. And once that's all completed, then you just hit next on that page. Once you've done that, then you will pick a name for your nation. Be as creative as you like with the name, but know that if your name is already taken, you will be forced to change it. You have to have a unique name. And this is a game that is played globally around the world, so you may have to get really creative with names. Enter the email address that you want to use. It doesn't necessarily have to be your college one, just one that you check regularly, and that they will give you updates and say you haven't done anything with your nation in a while. so that you're aware of that, also pick a password. And then once you've filled in all of that information, click Create Nation at the bottom of that page. So once you get there, you will get to the home page for your nation. And the first thing that I want you to do is go to Settings up at the top, which is up on this bar there. And I want to make sure that you have your settings for issues. It says 48 hours between issues. We want to make sure you're getting a new crop of issues at least every 2 days so that you can work through enough issues that your nation will actually be affected by what you're doing. You also want to click the box that says require confirmation before passing legislation. This just gives you an extra chance to, if you accidentally click something on an issue, to say, no, wait, I don't actually want to do that. I want to do something else. Once you've done that, you can mess with any of the other settings as much as you like, but just make sure those two are set. Once you've done that, you just go to the bottom and click update. Now, running the simulation, the main way that you will be running your nation is through deciding on issues. You get to issues through the top up here, and actually I will show you more about this. I'll open my nation state so that we can look more into that. So you want to make sure that you are getting those issues as regularly as possible. So 48 hours setting is important in that regard. You will also get telegrams, which can also be found up here at the top on the screen. You're going to get a lot of spam mail from people who want you to join their region or join their like war party or something like that. This adds a bit of a touch of sort of foreign policy to your simulation. However, I don't require that you participate in that way. If you want to focus entirely on domestic policy, that is an option that's open to you. But there is one telegram that you do want to pay attention to, and it's the very first one you'll receive, and it's called Note to Leader. And that will also give you a rundown of the way that the game works, and it's something you may want to refer back to as well. So look for that telegram there that's entitled Note to Leader. Finally, you also want to make sure that as you're playing the simulation that you're not just playing the game and living in the moment, but you're recording what you're doing regularly as well. The reason you want to do that is because you have to write an essay about this later. So make sure that you know what you're doing. Because once you decide on an issue, the details of that issue are gone. You can't go back and read the exact details and all of the different options and things like that. But you probably will want to refer back to those things as you're writing your essay. So my advice to you is that the very first issue you get, start copying all of that information and pasting it into a document or something that you can keep so that you can reference that when you're writing that paper. We're going to run this simulation for about 5 weeks over the length of this course, like I say, with the essay being due on the 26th of April. So that is that briefly. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you my nation state. So this is the home page that you'll get for your nation once you have it created. You can see here are sort of various measures for how your nation is doing in that regard. They give you a bit of a blurb about your nation here that changes as you make decisions, stuff like that. You've kind of got your fact book over here. And that sort of thing. You have trophies for various things here. So this is the top 5% of least corrupt governments, top 10% of most rebellious youth. You also got a sort of rundown of the most recent decisions that you've made and other things like that around there. So the way that you play, as I stated before, is dealing with issues. So if you click up here at the top, it'll take you to your issues pages. They'll never give you more than 5 issues at a time. So if you've got some sort of waiting in the wings, they're not going to pile them up. 5 or, yeah, no, 5, 2, 5, yeah, okay. So if you want to look at these, then you just click on one of the newspaper headlines here. It'll give you the rundown of the issue. So here it says, tragedy struck last Friday when police had to be called to pop concert when the queue for the women's washroom, that is bathroom, devolved first into squabbles and then a violent free-for-all as desperate female fans fought to get to the front. Okay, so this is a fight broke out at a concert over the women's bathroom. These are the various options you have to choose from. So here we have women being forced to wait is another form of sexism. By forcing businesses and old stadiums to accommodate more and more people in women's washrooms, we can finally realize a fairer, more equal experience at the... apparently she really had to go to the bathroom. What a load of... Starts Jack Cho, a controversial heavy metal singer. Anyways, look, if they don't like having to wait for the loo, then they can always bring their business elsewhere. It's a free market. Nobody's forcing them to go there. One washroom for each gender is fair. One washroom is fine, but why all the fuss over artificial categories? Just take off the boy-girl signs on the door and be gender fluid. Oh wow, I really feel for these girls. It's our fault for sure. I've written a song about how sorry we are. So here we've got a collection of issues. One of the things that I want you to consider, particularly as you're dealing with these issues, is what the real world equivalent is for these. And so if we were to talk about this issue, particularly if you say are going to pick this option here, that might lead you to discussing the issue of gender neutral bathrooms and things like that, which is a hot topic in the United States and specifically in Texas as well. So if you were to pick that, that could lead to a discussion about that in your paper. At this point, so you've picked an option here. You have the option to confirm it. At this point is when I would go and copy all of this and paste it onto something. So I have for my nation state a little notepad note that will open here eventually, I think. Yeah, there we are. That has what the various issues are and how I would categorize them. So these are just notes that I've created. So we're just going to go and paste that in there. I've also written on here on these issues the day. At least on the first one I did, I wrote the date that I did it, and that could be helpful to some extent as well. So, say I've dealt with this on 1919. I've gotten this. This is the one that I'm going to choose, which I've got the confirm underneath it, which is all I need. So once you've picked your response, then you just go and you click confirm. And then it gives you the result of your legislation that you pass. So you get headlines that regard it, and you also get how it affected your categories here. So you can see where things have gone down and where things have gone up. In a collection of ways. And then at that point you can go back to issues and decide on other ones as well. You also have a nice nifty place on nation states called the fact book where you can keep issues as well. I've got one here with issues that I've kept as well as how I've decided on things too. Your fact book does have a limited number of things you can put in it, though. And the reason that I'm keeping things on a notepad is because my fact book is full. But I've also been keeping up with this for about 2 or 3 years now for my classes. So your fact book would probably be just fine for recording your issues if you needed to. You also have various other things here. Things that represent your policies. There you have a breakdown of your population. The leading causes of death in my population are old age, heart disease, and being lost in the wilderness. Apparently, as well, it's a popular way to die in my country. You have a breakdown of your government spending. All of these things you can reference for a variety of reasons in your essay, should you need to. So this is how my government spends its money. You can see a breakdown of the economy. So this is how money is spent and invested. So state-owned industry, government spending, and then private industry here, and then the black market up there as well. It also gives you the breakdown of money per capita. Income per capita. Shows you your rank in countries based on various categories and things like that. Again, you may consider some of these categories to be more important to you, and so they may be marks of your own success. The one place that they do mark success here is with your sort of trend lines there as well. So the blue line there is civil rights, the green line is political freedoms, and the red line is economy. Now, these trend lines are the ones that they mark particularly, so you want to kind of pay attention to them, and particularly when an issue does something like this. So at one point, I made a decision, and it went from 45 on my economy, which is sort of moderate, to 30, which was low, and I haven't been able, as you can see, to get up out of that number sort of significantly in any way. And so when something like that happens, you really want to make a note of what issue caused that to happen. Same thing over here where it went up on political freedoms from 66 to 76. You want to make a note of when you have huge jumps like that in anything. This is one where it went down pretty significantly. So just kind of make a note, particularly when your trend lines change drastically like that, as that's probably going to be something that you'll want to talk about in your essay there. So that's the rundown on nation states. If you have any questions about the course in general, and particularly about nation states, if you go over here to the discussion board on the class, there is a topic that is called Ask Your Professor. And I highly recommend that if you've got a general question about the class or about nation states or something like that, that you go to this Ask Your Professor section and you post your question there, because it's likely that one of your classmates has a similar question. And so we can address that publicly. Don't ask me personal questions like about your grade or something like that on there. Send those in a private message. But if it's a general question about the class, please use this discussion board to post those questions. So that is basically it. That's the course. I hope that is relatively clear for you. If you do have any questions, again, please feel free to email me or to post in that discussion board, and I'll do my best to respond to you in a timely manner in that case. But welcome to the course again, and I look forward to working with you. Thanks.